Hey guys, it's Super Mexican Mia. It's always hard starting, like, obviously videos like this, or like, just talking about this in general. At the end of the day, this is my life. It's me who decides in the end to share everything, and like, you guys know this about me. I'm a very public person. Like, I share almost everything that goes on in my life. Y'all know this. You guys been watching me for like a long time. I've been on YouTube since I was like in high school, a lot of stuff there, like with relationships, like throughout, and even just stuff in my personal life, or like, my dogs, anything that happens, like, all the negative, all the positive. You guys have seen it all. That is to say, I just right off the bat, like when I think I mentioned this in my first video that I ever made with regarding, my ex. I literally, when I first met him, I told him like I'm a very public person, like social media based, like this is what you're getting into essentially. I told him everything. I have all these pets, I have like this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be, like this is where I am in life, like mentally, emotionally. He knew it all since the beginning. It's not like he had a hard time, to figure me out or anything. It's like, I laid it all flat. I know what I want, and this is what I want. Are you ready for this? He accepted. He said yes. That's all him, that's all me. But you guys know this. Yeah, I don't know this if you guys have been watching my channel for like, or have been like following me or anything. Like, you guys know the type of person I am and stuff. Like, this is me. So obviously my last video was Christmas based. I hope you guys liked it. It was like this really cute little video we did. My sister, she helped me film it, and we went to the Grove, and yeah, it was Camilo's first Christmas special. And yeah, it was like so cool and so dope to experience that with my son. Like I it's still like I haven't talked about, I've been meaning to make a lot of videos like about like life as a mom, like as a first-time mom, life with like pets, having dogs, like, it's just I've been meaning to do, or like our routine, and like everything happened. I'm busy. I mean, like, it's really hard to make videos and stuff. Like right now my son is sleeping, after like being awake for almost 4 hours, and like right now my mom's like, like cradling him, I don't know, like in her rebozo, holding him, I don't know, but he's sleeping. And it's like I have to find pockets in like my daily like life to like film, to like edit, and it's usually all the way at night or super early in the morning before he wakes up or after he goes to sleep. I mean, basically while he's sleeping, I have to like, do everything essentially, and we'll get into that in other videos, but it's just hard to find time like this. Like I don't know how other moms do it, like, but kudos to them, props to them, because oh girl, this is hard. It's hard, even when you're in a couple, in a relationship, and it's obviously, I feel like, harder when you're a single mom. You guys know the video. Obviously this is talking about everything that happened with my ex, the father of my child, my best friend. This is essentially it. I think I might talk about it more in the future, but for now this is like it. Like I want to more focus obviously like on making more mom based content, like my life as mom, like obviously Camilo, but like it's about me. Like y'all know, you already know. I mean, like, it's my channel. I'm kidding. After I posted the video, I initially the why I broke up with Christopher, I wasn't going to post it, honestly. The only reason why I posted it, one, because you already know, you guys had to know everything that's going on, because that's just the person I am, like you guys know this since like many other videos before that I posted, even with Christopher, even with like all the other like people in my life. I just, this is my way of like sacando todo, like I'm a single mom now. If like this gets like reaches like a wide audience or something, like the better, because I need the money to raise my child, you get me? Like, there's just so many other reasons, like to help me vent, to like talk about this, my feelings, so I could like be like good, you get me, or like better, in a more like in a better place, you know, like the trolls. I'm trying to always, you know, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make like light out of so much darkness in my life right now. Oh my goodness. It's just insane because I didn't think I would ever be in this position, you know, or like ever be in this place in my life. And it's very unfortunate, but you know, things had to be done. I had to do something. So I wasn't going to post the video. But I did. And I mean, you know, I filmed it and then I edited that night. And then, you know, it was uploading. It takes like forever to upload for some reason. I mean, it was an hour and 30 minutes, but you get me, like, you know. So in that time when it was loading, I was like, should I post it? Should I not? Like, at that time, he hadn't reached out to me. Yes, I did have him blocked on Instagram because it was honestly kind of triggering for, not kind of, it was very triggering for me to see, you know, him kind of move on. And at that point, he had a dad of Camilo Abolos, and like, or Camilo D. Abolos. Nowhere his name was my last name, and his legal last name, it's, you know, Camilo D. Abolos Vasquez. So it honestly, that hurt. Obviously, it's not like to be like, oh, like a big deal about, but it's a big deal. I mean, like, I'm the mother. I gave birth. He witnessed me give birth. You get me? Like, he was there. Like, I thought we shared a moment, but, you know. And then, you know, his his following increased, like, him following people. I know it's all like those girls, you know, and it hurts just, you know, seeing that. So I had to, like, you know, block it. Yeah, I still kind of look him up in my other, like, my pet accounts and stuff. But, like, you know, it's my main one is, like, supermexicanmia. So it's not as, like, you know, you get me? So, like, I had to do that. I didn't have him blocked on literally anywhere else. He knows he could have reached out via email. He could have literally just come here. You know, it's like we literally at that point were like broken up for like maybe a week, 2 weeks max, I think. But like, I think it was like a week. Like, we literally just lived with each other like a week ago during that time when I posted. Like, he could have done something, you know. Afterwards, nothing happened. Just waiting and waiting. I started packing his things slowly. I packed his clothes. You know, we have a storage unit, so I put it there. It's not like I'm gonna throw it away or like, you know, I'm literally not a petty person, like, at all. My sisters are incredibly petty as hell, but I'm not. I mean, like, you know, I feel like there's no reason to be, because it's like, as long as I'm good and like I know I've done the most that I could do, and like, you know, why be petty? You get me? It's like, you know, like, they're funny and I love them because, you know, they're hella like, you know, petty as hell, but like, that's not me. You know, it's just like a, you know, I hate that. I hate pettiness. It's so, I feel like it's so childish and it's so immature, and it really shows like you're, you know, just like why are you petty, girl, you know? So you know, I'm keeping everything safe. He never showed up. He never came. I'm going to try to show you guys the text messages. The only reason why it's kind of hard for me to do this, or like to show like my receipts and stuff, is because it's literally just the time to edit. You know, like, Camilo's wake windows are like getting longer and longer throughout the day. Yes, he's been really sleeping well throughout the night, honestly, but it's just hard. Like, I want my rest, need my rest, you know, and obviously I would more prioritize my time with Camilo, my own rest, my own, like, you know, sanity, than to edit, like, you know, you get me? But I'm going to try my hardest. I've had a lot of, like, you know, screenshots and stuff, like, throughout this whole time of our relationship. It's just very hard, you know, to me, like, for me to edit it, like, fast and, like, you know, upload everything fast. Like, it's not how it used to be when I was, like, pregnant, or even before then. Like, not even when I was pregnant. That was, like, another thing. Oh, my goodness. So at this point, we were texting. Like, I did block him, but prior to that, I'm going to try to show you guys, like, our conversations. I'm not going to read them right now, but I'm going to, like, while I edit, I'm going to, you know, like, I'm going to leave it there for you guys to read. But I tried my best. Like, he didn't show up. He never showed up. You know, he supposedly was going to come visit. You know, at that point, I was like, it's not even for me at this point. Like, I think we're done. Like, it sucks. You know, I really, really wanted to try with this person. But it's like, there's only so much I can do, you know, like, to hold myself still, like, you know, like, to value myself, you know, like, I think I told him in person too. I was like, I would not want my younger self, like, to see, like, my younger self would not want me to be in this position where I am, like, or where I was in the relationship with you. And it just made me cry because I was like, you know, it's the truth. I like, just looking back to where I was in my relationships, even back then, even in growing up, like, this isn't what I wanted, you know. I wanted, like, more. I wanted, you know, better. And it sucks because he could never do that, like, for us or even for himself. So, you know, something had to happen. Something had to change. I had to do something, you know, because no one else was going to do anything like him. He was just, you know, like that. He could live life like that. And it sucks, you know, like, even if it's like, bam, bam. But no, it's, you get me? Like, so he was supposed to visit Camilo. At least Camilo. You get me? Like, not even me at that point. Nothing. He did send money. He only sent $50 for the whole month of December. And it was for formula and Tylenol for Camilo because he was sick. Literally, he got sick. I don't know if it was like a couple of days before he left or right when he left. And he got better like a little before he left to Vegas, which I'm going to talk about later. But yeah. He got better. He never even asked him. I don't even think he knew he was sick. And, you know, like, he never asked about him in any way. He never asked how I was. Like, I literally told him, like, I hope you're doing better or something, you know, like, and I would hope that, like, I would actually be like, I hope he's good. I think he's good. Even if it's like, like, he's better, you know, like, he's not even texting, whatever, but, like, at least he's good. And that's all I wanted, you know. I want him to be happy. You get me? Like, I love this person so much, you know, like, we've had so many memories, have so many experiences together. I hold him at a very, like, in a very, like, you know, deeply in my heart. Like, you know, I think to, like, a certain point, like, he's, like, kind of, like, because I, you know, you guys know this, I have, like, the love of my life, and, you know, you guys know who it is. If you don't, don't say it. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, it was like a middle school, high school, like, type of person, like, type of, like, love. You know, it was like young love. This is like more like kind of like adult love, you know. So it's like, he was like, I guess, my first/second love. You get me? And it just sucks. But yeah. I don't want to cry anymore. I've been getting better at that. Obviously, it's really good to release your emotions, but, you know, it sucks. He never, like, came to visit as he said he would. I think once he noticed I blocked him on Instagram, he just thought, and he even told me he thought I blocked him on everything. And I'm like, how could I block you on literally everything? You're the father of our child, like, girl, like, we literally live with each other, you know. And I literally explained to him the reason why I, like, blocked him on Instagram. I didn't even block him on my pet accounts. He has his other account with Zeus, our dog. He didn't even bother, like, reaching out to me through there. I don't have my dog blocked, girl, you know, like, I still follow all of his family except his second old brother because I don't even know his account. He never followed me or anything. And I never followed him because I don't know the account. And all my family followed him. Even my cousin, like, you know, Jocelyn, like, everyone, like, we all followed him. All our pet accounts followed him. Obviously, my sister, like, took him off fast because, you know, she's like that. And then he took off all of my family. Like, he removed them as followers. I don't even know if he has them blocked. Probably not. But, like, he removed them, you know. And it's like, wow, like, to do that. Like, dang, you know. I follow his family. I mean, I still have communication with them, you know, because I see them as family. Maybe they might not see me as family, which is very, like, it sucks. But, you know, like, I just can't believe that this, you know, we welcomed him into our home. My father gave him a job. My sister got him a job. Oh my goodness, we did so much for him. And it's just kind of like a really, like, he just threw the towel at us type of thing, you know, and I'm just very, like, wow. So after that, I would send videos and stuff, or like updates of Camilo wise, you know. Even before, then I reached out to him via iMessage, and I sent, you know, this message, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to include everything, girl. It might be a little, like, bumble jumbled. Like, I haven't even eaten. I literally need to eat, but I'm trying to make this video and it's all. I sent him a message. And obviously I was very hurt by everything that he like had told me from like the messages before and on Instagram. Like I was just very like, I cannot believe that we got to this point, like you're so rude, you're so mean to me, and I feel like he's just holding such a grudge, and it's like all of the events that transpired after the breakup, after I told my family everything, it's all on him, like I spoke out. That's literally all I did. I just told like my family, like, hey, this guy has been doing this to me. He's the father of my child. I didn't want to like say it out. Like I didn't want to ruin everything. And you guys know, like, I've said this in the last video, like for all of these different types of reasons, I didn't leave the relationship and I wanted to stay and work things out. But it just got to a point where I was just sick of it. Like sick of feeling the way I was every single day, like for the past 5 months at least. He did send the money and I was very grateful for that. Obviously, I don't know if you guys know, but $50, it's obviously it's money is money. I'm very grateful. I just told him that. I just literally tell him thank you. But it's not enough for Camilo. And it's the thing, I'm just like, does he not really remember? Like, I know it's been like maybe like a couple days since he's seen his son, but I feel like I don't know if he was just, he didn't have the money. I don't know what, but like, he drinks a lot of milk and it's formula, like I just honestly don't know, and if like I literally told him, if you can't or if you don't even want to pitch in or like be that like financially like involved in his life, then don't like let me know. But it's the thing, he never lets me know anything, and it's just so confusing. He confuses me. He just confuses me so much. But yeah, that was like at least the one thing he did, like, but like, you get me, like $50 is not enough, and it's literally not enough for Camilo. Afterwards, he kept on like being like, yeah, I'll see him, and he never came. And the last thing I said was like, okay, well, you could come this date at this time. He never came, he never showed. It honestly really hurt. Like, obviously everything was fresh and new. It just sucks. There's like so many things that he could have done and he just never did. It's insane because even on the iMessages, he left me on red, and then he's the one saying like, you blocked me and I don't know what. And it's like, you never even responded. But I'm not the one saying, like, oh, you didn't do this. Like, like, you get me, like in front of you and in front of our family. I just try to keep my cool, but like, it's hard when like, I'm trying to be good and like mature about everything, and then you have this person just being still like rude and thinking the worst of me, and I'm just like, wow, like te he aguantado todo ese tiempo y luego todavía me sales con esto, like, oh my goodness. So after that, we decided, or like, I let him know when he could come because him and his mom wanted to drop off Camilo's present. And it just sucks because that whole time he didn't come. He was alone. His family like lived in Vegas. They didn't come. They came maybe like the 17th, 16th of December, around their 18th maybe, and then they left like 10 days after or something. And it just sucks a lot because like, I don't want this, I wanted I broke up with him because I wanted something different, like I wanted him to do something, like I wanted him to try instead of me being the one. Like I don't even know if I did this in my first video where like, but like, I like, we were always like this. I'd be like, oh, he'd be like, oh, but we'd both be like this. Then afterwards it would just be like, we're like, oh, and then I would be the one like come back basically. I didn't do that this time. I literally like, I just let it, happen. I was like, I'm breaking up with you. Like, no, there's nothing he said that like could change things. It was all what ifs. It was all like, just, I like, what if I do this? What if I do this? And it's like, no. The thing is like, do it, it's not like, like what if anymore. It's like, you've had so many chances. I've given you like literally a million chances and to change or to do something different or do something better, and you never did. I didn't intervene like this time, basically. Like, I broke up and I like with him, and I was just like this is it, you know. I didn't go chasing him down the stairs. I didn't like, you know, do a little like, oh, so that's it, or like this is how we're gonna leave things. I didn't do that this time, and he just you know, he just left. It was like the first time that he actually like, you know, accepted it, basically. To him, he said it was respecting me, respecting my decision. Yet throughout our whole relationship, I asked him, you know, please be faithful, please be loyal, like get a job, like work on yourself, do this for us, for me, for yourself. And he would always break that promise. He would never respect me in that way. So there's just, you know, like, you break the rules when it's convenient to you, yet when you shouldn't break them, you always do, you know. And it's just like, that's the thing that just gets me. Like, you see where this person's like values are, or like the lack of morals that he has no integrity, honestly, little to no compassion. And it's like, it just sucks, you know. It's like he doesn't really want to prosper in anything. And you know, I'm here like supporting him and rooting for him every single day, and I feel like it's just gone. Like, he's just gone, you know. Like, he wasn't here for us that whole time. So I am kind of forgetting about everything that's going on, to be honest, like after that text message, but I'm just going to jump to when he came. So I believe it was the 23rd. I want to say it was the 23rd, 22nd or 23rd. I don't know if it was a Sunday or a Monday. I think it was Sunday. Sunday or Monday. I forgot. But it was 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. Or was it Saturday? It was that like weekend, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. The text message will show it. I remember that day I was like, he might not come. You know, this whole time I'm incredibly hoping that he's gonna come, things is gonna be different, that we're gonna get back together again, you know. Like, I'm just thinking like, you know, like maybe, you know, just keeping that hope, because, you know, you always just want to hope for the best, you know. You always want to, like, I want my family together, you know. And it was like Camilo's nap time, and then I was like, you know what, I think I'll just go to sleep. He's not gonna come. I think I was like, you could come after 12, anytime after 12. Right as I like, as soon as I was going to like rest my head on the bed, because I think at this point I was working on my dad's Christmas present, like drawing or like, you know, doing something. And then I was like, I'm just gonna rest, like why bother, you know. At this point I'm like, they're not gonna come, he's not gonna come, it's over, you know. Like, and then I got a message like, we're here, or something like that. My heart started beating fast. I started kind of like trembling and shaking a little bit. I was getting like hot or like warm all over. I was like, he's here. I was like, they're here. I got so happy and excited, like, you have no idea. I just wanted to go and hug him. I kind of wish I did hug him. You know, the dogs were good. We had Kai, Bonita, and Lucy like with us. You know, my sister's dogs were like visiting because something was going on with my sister in her apartment, like appliance wise. I was like, they're here, and they were like right here at the door, like not even downstairs at the gate, like because obviously he knows the gate code and everything. And they brought this, and I was so happy, like, to see everyone, to see him, to see Zeus. You know, I said hi to Zeus first because he just came running in. We had the dogs in, but they were barking. I thought that would wake up Camilo. He didn't wake up until maybe like 5 minutes after they came inside. No, 10 minutes, I think, maybe, after they came inside. Because I had him on my camera on my phone. It felt great to see him again. Like, you have no idea. Then he, you know, it just sucked. You know, we all said hi. She said hi to my mom. Like, he was really excited to see her. I was like, I think, well, from what I can remember in person, like the, you know, I asked him, like, oh no, I was like, I cried. I was emotional. I mean, how could I not be emotional? you know, I'm seeing him, like, literally the love of my life for the first time again after like 2 weeks, you know. I know I ended it, you know, and everything, but like, he never came back, you know. Not even for our son. But I remember asking, I was like, why haven't you like come visited? Like, you never like came. And then his mom answered first. She was like, he's been busy. And then he was like, yeah, I've been busy. And I was like, I understand, you know, like, in my head, I was just like, not even for your son. Like, you're that busy. You couldn't even come to visit your son once. Then he said, you had me blocked. And I was like, I didn't have you blocked. I blocked you on Instagram. On my account. You literally could have texted Bonita, like my dog's account. And I was like, you have Zeus's account. Like, you know, I was about to start, like, you know, saying something. And then he was kind of moving. So then I was like, oh, like, you know, I was just kind of staring. I was like, I think he's waking up. And then his mom said something about like how she doesn't like social media, or like how it's bad to like have him blocked. And I was like, oh, but you know, I literally just had him blocked on that account. It was like such a little thing, you know. Like he had all of these different resources to contact me through. He literally could have come. He could have emailed me. He could have like, you know, like texted me through like another phone, if anything. He said that I supposedly had him blocked on my number. I didn't. I never blocked him. He just never replied after I sent like a picture video of Camilo. It just said red. I was like, you never bothered to reach out. That's the thing, you know. It's always me that has to do everything. It's always on me. So, you know, after that, we were about to like, you know, keep on talking, but then I was like, oh, like he's waking up. You know, I got excited. I was getting a little more emotional. I mean, like, you know, it's gonna be the first time he's seeing his son after like 2 weeks. Like how like my mom was like literally telling me, like, I remember she was stuck in Mexico one time after I don't know what happened, but like my dad was here with like my older sister. He was a boy at the time, like Alan. And then he was like, I think it was like he was 2 years old. He had just turned 2, and she missed his birthday because she was stuck in Mexico. It was a whole ass like ride, you know, trying to get back here and everything. And it was like, I think almost a month that went by that she didn't see her. And, you know, like, I'm just like, how could you go 2 weeks without seeing your son? Like, I'm just so shook. I'm like, sure, at that point, I'm like, you know, fudge me, you know, like, to hell with me, you know, but your son, I still get like, I don't even know, to this day. I'm just like, you went 2 weeks without seeing your son, bro. He woke up. They were just sitting on the couch, and I was like, he woke up, like, and I was literally like, come, like, don't you want to see him, you know? Like, I don't know, he was acting a little weird. He was very quiet, and I was like, I don't know if it was because his mom was there, because I don't know, but he just had a different like vibe to him, you know. And then, or I don't know if it's because he hadn't seen us, I don't know, but I was like, come, like, you literally lived with us like 2 weeks ago, you know how this works. Like, he wakes up, like, come, like, this is your son, do you know? I would just be so like, you know, over the moon to be like, my son's awake. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. You know, like, I'm gonna be running to, you know, to go see him. I would be like holding him. I would even be like, he's asleep. I kind of don't care. I want to see him, you know, something. He was just so like, whatever about it. And then he came in and he was like, I was like, Camilo. It took him a while to recognize him, which, you know, it sucks because it's like, don't you want to hold or like value your relationship with your son, you know? Like, I don't know if it's because I have a dad. I don't know if it's because he didn't grow up with a dad, but it's like I try to instill all of these things into him, you know, like, oh my goodness. But he saw him, then eventually he recognized him, or he was just happy like to see him again because he smiled. Then after we were together, like, we said hi and everything. They took Camilo out to go say hi to, like, you know, his aunts, and uncles. And then the mom came. She was like, oh, we're gonna let them talk. And she was like, don't argue. And I was like, why would we argue? In my head, you know, I was like, why is she kind of saying that? And I was like, does she think we argue? I was like, we don't argue. Like, I just talk. He just thinks I'm confronting. I don't know, you know, that's still like his thing. And I was like, maybe he just tells her, I don't know. if he tells her anything, because supposedly he doesn't, supposedly he does. I don't know. But she was like, don't argue, like be nice with each other. I don't know what. And I was like, okay, like, girl, I'm literally in love with your son. Like, I love him. Why would I, do anything? Your son's the one that was like being and treating me horrible. Like, I don't know, like weird. But then she closed the door, and then we were just alone, and I was just crying. No, at first we were with Camilo. He was on the bed, and I was like, go play with him. Like, girl, like, you haven't seen your son in 2 weeks. Like, what? And then we just started talking, and I was like, I forgot what we were talking about, to be honest, because it's all kind of like whoosh, mush and blur at this point, because so much has happened. But I do remember asking him, I was like, does your mom think that we argue? I was like, does your mom think that we argue? And he was like, no. And I was like, why'd she say that then? Like, it's kind of weird, like, to say that. Like, why would I argue with, like, this person that I love? Like, I love him so much. It's like, this whole time I was the one trying to save the relationship, but your son is the one that was like really not trying. Like, so there's no chance, like, and then he would just kind of be like quiet, and then he wouldn't really say no, he wouldn't really say yes. So it was confusing. And then I'm like, so, you didn't come here to like, to like fix things, basically. And I don't know if he said no, or he was just like, I don't know, or it was just weird. Like, I'm still confused. Like, at that point I was like really confused. Then he was like trying to hug me, and I told him about like Camilo, changing Camilo's name, and then he was like, please don't. And I was like, okay. Like, he was like, I don't want you stressing about that, which I appreciated. I was like, you're right. Like, that's like a thing to like, for later or something. But I was like, I got to the point of thinking about it, and he was like, please don't. And I was like, you know what, okay, I'm not going to, like, one, because yeah, you're right, I shouldn't be stressing over this, like, thing. And then also it's like, I just want to, like, there's a reason why I gave him his father's name, and I did tell him at that point, I was like, I thought I was gonna get your last name. I give him your last name, like, so we could be a family like that. But I was like, you're not gonna marry me, are you? He was just kind of quiet, and I was like, that's not gonna happen. I was like, I get it, like, you just came here to, like, basically give him his present and leave. And I was just so distraught. He would hug me, and I didn't want to. I even told him, I was like, please don't. I was like, please don't. I don't want to feel you, like, near me. And then I gave in, and I hugged him, and we did kiss. And it just sucks. Because it's like, you do that, and you give me, like, this other false hope, and, like, it just sucks. Because it's like, I told him, I was like, I missed you, I was like, I missed you. I was like, I missed you. And he was like, I missed you too. We hugged, and it sucks, because I was like, I really thought that we would be back together by then, or like by now, at that point. And then I was like, okay, like, this is it. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Vegas with my family. And I was like, okay, I understand, and I respect you. Like, I respect your decision. I'll always want the best for you, no matter what. I was like, it is what it is. Like, you decided that already. And I was like, I want you to stay. I wish you could stay, like, but you have to do something, and he doesn't want to. So then, we talked to it, like, a lot, and I don't know what. And then Camilo wanted to go say hi to them, and then, like, be with them, like, his family. We would still talk. His mom it was weird, because she was like let us talk, but then she was kind of like rushing us to like stop so they could leave. And then I was just like, what, but I understand, you got stuff to do. It just sucks because this is the first time that, like, we're seeing each other again. It's like, you kind of don't really want us to talk or something, and it's like, I want to fix things, but I mean, at that point he was just, I think he had already made his decision. And, like, it sucks. So then his family left. I gave him all their presents. They gave Camilo, like, his gift. No one gave me anything. And, I never really expect anything. Just sucks because I see them as family, and it's like, I guess I'm not, or I never even was to them. I don't know. I gave Christopher his present. He liked it a lot. It was this like sweater, this chopper sweater that he really wanted, and when we went to Vegas together, and you know, I was like, I have to give it to him. Like, I didn't have to give it to him, but I wanted to. You know, I'm not a person to be like, oh, he's not gonna get a Christmas gift then, you know. It's like, no, like, I love him. Like, why ruin that? Like, you know, I love Christmas, like, I love giving. It's like, why ruin that part of me, you know, when I know that's not me, like, to like, you know. So I gave everyone like presents and stuff. I remember he said the reason, well, at least for him, he said because he didn't have any money, I think, so he didn't give me a gift or something. And I was like, it's fine, you know. I always tell him, I was like, it's fine, like, I understand, and he knows this, you know, that I'm not a person to be like, oh my god, like, you didn't, you know. I'm not like that. I'm just like, it's okay. Like, the important thing is that, like, you got a gift for me, you know. That's all I want, you know. So then they opened their gifts. Camilo opened his gift. We took pictures together. I'll put it here. That's like, I think, the last pictures we took together, like, as a family. It's I didn't even realize that. It's so kind of now. I look crusty. No, I'm kidding. But like, I always look crusty. I'm kidding. So then afterwards, his family left because they had to go, or they took a Lyft or Uber. It was getting late because then they would have taken the train. And I was like, oh no, I understand, you know. She was like, I gotta get dinner ready. I was like, oh no, yeah. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I hugged her. I was like, thank you for everything, you know, like, that's all I could say, you know, just thank you for everything. Like, she gave birth to, I think, an incredible person who just sometimes makes really bad decisions. But yeah, he stayed a little bit. He would have gone with them, but he left Zeus, you know. Not like left him forever, but he was like, oh, it's okay if I leave him overnight. And that was the last time that, you know, we like saw Zeus in that way. Like, he stayed over, and like, you know, like, that was the last time, like, he basically lived with us, like, for that night, that day. He packed more of his things, and as he was like packing his things, he would go in our closet, or my closet, and I would just look at him and it'd be like, wow, you know, like, he's leaving, like, he's you know, he made this decision. He could easily come back, but he was just looking through all these things, and I'm just like, wow, you know. I was just standing there like for like maybe a second, you know, like 5-10 seconds, and I was just like, okay, like, taking it in, you know, like, that he's leaving, but obviously having this hope that he's still gonna come back, or just be like, you're really like doing this, you know. But I didn't say anything because it's always me, you know, and I don't want it to just be me anymore. I want it to be him, to be like, you know what, like, to hell with this, I want to come back, you know, or like, I want to be with you. And he never did anything like that. It's all kind of like a little blur, to be honest. Like, it's I'm like having trouble remembering everything, I think. And this always happens. Like, I have trouble remembering things, even though it's like, you know, a week, 2 weeks ago, because like in detail, because I try to block it already, like, because it's so like sad, you know, and I want to get over things. But like, if I don't have a picture or like a concrete like evidence of everything, I just kind of forget sometimes. Or if it doesn't hit me and it's super like emotional to me, then I forget. Then he left. He was, or supposedly at this point, he said that we would have breakfast in the morning with Camilo, and then he would get Zeus, you know, because he's taking Zeus with him, like, to at least live with his aunt's house, you know. Like, he just left him for that night, so it'd be a little easier on him to, like, you know, go, I guess, take the train and stuff. He could have slept over. I just don't know why he never speaks for himself. He never asks. He never like talks. He never, I don't know. I feel like maybe at that one he had just for sure given up, but he could have slept over if he asked, you know, just something, you know, like anything. Because it's just actions that I wanted, you know. It's not words. Like, to hell with words, you know. It's like, girl, like, you know, I wanted something, and he just left, and I was just sad, you know. Like, I was just so sad, like, seeing Zeus again and everything, and like seeing him, And I was like, wow, it took him 2 weeks to come back. But it's not even to come back. It was basically like to say, like, basically to just give Camilo his gift, you know? It was like, that was the premise of it, and that was the only reason why he came back. He never asked, like, how Camilo was during these 2 weeks. He never asked at this point, you know, after the 2 weeks, after, like, the December 22nd, 23rd, or whatever. He never asked how we were, how Camilo was, if he had gotten better from his sickness, if he had diapers, if he had formula. I had to ask him again and be like, you know, how are you, basically, or like financially, because I mean, Camilo's running out of, like, you know, such, you know, things, you know. And thank God I have my parents and my family that they could help me out in that way, because I was, you know, obviously depending on Chris at this point. But $50 could go only, like, you know, I can't stretch it out for so long, you get me? Like, Camilo needs things, like, he's a baby, like, you know, for those who are moms, or like, you know, you understand. Like, it's costoso, you know. Like, even with, like, you know, like, help, like WIC, you know, it's, you need, like, help, like, you know. He never asked anything. He never asked or anything, you know. Like, I asked how he was, and he never asked anything about me or Camilo. So then he left. Zeus stayed over. That was the last time that we, like, you know, like, actually, like, were, like, with Zeus. And it sucks because just seeing him, he was so calm and relaxed. He looked like he was home, you know, like, if he looked like he felt like, dude, I'm home. Like, he looked so at peace. He was just cuddling with my mom. He was cuddling with me. Like, I know he missed us and I miss him. Like, this is another separate thing with Zeus, you know. He's our dog. You guys know I raised that dog. Like, I remember I was out there pregnant in the freezing cold at like 6 a.m. in the morning, waiting in line for him to get his, like, neuter. Like, I was there, like, you know, constantly trying to train him, trying to, like, teach him where to use the restroom, trying to, like, you know, like, feed him good food. Like, I was there for him. You know, I would try to help teach Chris, like, hey, like, this is how, you know, like, it is for a dog. Like, you know, he's your first dog and everything, but he's our dog. Like, and I always said that, like, you know, he's our baby. He's our first, like, you know, while I'm pregnant with Camilo, like, he helped me so much. He was there throughout my whole pregnancy, you know, like, I have so much love for Zeus. And, that I remember that day when I went to go, like, wait for his, like, neuter, like, surgery, Chris was supposed to come with us. At this point, he didn't live with us. He didn't live with me yet. Like, we weren't living together at that point, I think. But we were kind of slowly going to, like, you know, kind of moving in together. But he was at his aunt's place, and his alarm didn't ring or whatever, and he just didn't show up because he was, like, too tired, basically. And yeah, I did so much for Chris too, but for Zeus. During, like, the last stages of our, like, relationship, I was the one trying so hard because, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of work to have a dog, to have a baby, to have dogs, like, multiple dogs, to have cat. Like, it's to have pets in general, you know, like, it's a huge responsibility. And I let him know from the beginning, like, are you sure we could do this? Every, like, month I would check in with him. I'd be like, are you sure? Like, maybe it's Zeus, like that. It's, like, not, like, ruining our relationship, but, like, you know, it's, like, another, like stress, because I'm the one that was actively taking him out on walks early in the morning, taking him out on runs, then having to come back. Then, like, Camilo wakes up and I have to, like, you know, go to him because obviously Christopher needs to go to work and he's not one to actually wake up or to even be like, hey, like, I'll get you or I'll change your diaper. Like, it's always me, you know, unless I ask him to or tell him to, you know. And then, you know, it was just a lot of, like, just so much on me, you know, and it's like there was only so much I could do, and I was just like it's just really hard, you know. So it sucked that I told him, like, you know, like, I can't keep Zeus, you know, like, it was like so much for me, just like those last 2 days. Even when I did take Zeus with me sometimes over my sister's place, it was just a lot. Like, you know, I have Camilo all the time, and then, like, you know, to take care of, like, another, like, you know, he's a young dog. He's barely, like, about to turn, he's really like a year and a half, maybe. He's gonna turn 2 in, like, July. So, and he's a big dog, you know. It's like, but I know I did so much for him. Like, I did the most I could for him, and I'm proud of myself, you know. Like, I really love him, you know, and I know he's gonna be good. Like, I know Christopher's gonna do his best, you know, and, like, I'm really grateful for him to, like, you know, take care of Zeus and everything, or like still take care of Zeus, you know. That's like, you know, like one thing I am very like grateful for him. Like, I really hope that he like treats him well, and like he just does the best for him, you know. And I know he can. I know he can, because I know he can be that type of person, you know. And I just, you know, I wish Zeus the best. But that was like the last time we like actually, like, he stepped over basically. So the next morning, he said supposedly that he was gonna come tomorrow. He was like, literally right before he left, he was like hooking up Zeus. And then he was like, can I leave him, basically? And then I looked at my mom, because, you know, it's both, if it's our place, you know, I live with my parents and Camilo, so I was like, it's up to you, you know, if you want him to stay or not, like, it's fine. And then she was like, well, so what time would you pick him up tomorrow? And he was like, oh, like early. And I was like, what time early? Because he's not a morning person. He was like, before 12. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And he was like, we could have breakfast, we're gonna do this, like we could hang out at the family, like, you know, the three of us. And I was like, okay, we'll see you then. I think he woke up late, or I don't know what. He just never showed up. And then I think that was that day that he's stuck with his like siblings. And then because his mom left, he was like, as soon as he was getting ready, everyone else had already gotten ready, and they just left. And I was like, but did your mom know that you were going to come with us? He said, yeah. So I was just a little confused, like, why would she leave knowing that you were going to come with us, you know? Like, and a part of me was just kind of like, is she trying to sabotage a relationship? Like, because it's happened before. Like, she never wanted me with him, you know, but it's obviously like our relationship between me and Chris, you know, like, to hell with what our parents think, you know, you get me? It's like, it's obviously us, you know. But I know she doesn't like me and everything, you know, like, I don't know, like, why, I have no idea. I'm like, you know, I think he said before that I was like, they thought I was controlling and I don't know what, but I'm like, I don't think I'm controlling, girl. Like, if you really know, like, the type of person I am, like, I don't think that's controlling, you know. Like, one thing is, like, telling you what to do with our baby, you know, because we have the responsibility of a baby, because we both wanted it, you know. Like, another thing, it's like being controlling, and it's like, I don't think I was, you know, or am. But I remember that, and they would always kind of like talk bad about my family, and we never talked bad about them, girl, like, ever, which is very like, dang, you know, like, the family dynamic. He would literally send me recordings when we were like together, not like pregnant or anything before that. And I'd be like, wow, like, they really, either they don't understand and they just talk like smack about us, or Chris just never like actually like explained everything, and just explained like basically like it differently, or like, you know, I don't know, but you know. But then she left and she went to go get like a new phone or something, because I texted her, you know, I was like, hey, like, did you know that your son was supposed to come? And she was like, yeah, I had to go get a new phone. Like, you know, and she was like, but we're on our way back. And I was like, okay, because it's like kind of really late at this point, you know. And I was like, we kind of have somewhere to go, or like stuff to do, you know. Like, we also like, it's like, I feel like we just like do like whatever, like, you know. And it's like, we have a life too, like, you know. And like, I it's like a lot on me to take care of Zeus, you know, like, it is. And he knows this. So I was just like, and then my mom was even getting mad. She was like, why did I say yes? Like, you know, like, we all know how like Chris is. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then he was like, well, it's not like, and then I think he was getting rude. He was like, it's not my fault. You act as if like I want to be here. And I was like, no, I'm just saying, like, if you can't fulfill your promises, like, why make them in the first place, you know? Like, it's just so confusing. I'll send put the pictures here if I can. But then I was just like, so much for our family breakfast, you know. Like, I don't know if you even told any of your family members that we were supposed to be together, like sharing our last like moments together, basically. Like, me still thinking at this point, like, maybe we have a chance, you know, because he said like this, because he said this, like, we'll be together, like, as a family, like, eat like breakfast, I don't know what. He literally like showed up later, way in the day, like around maybe 4, I think, I don't remember, but it was like way after like 12, you know. And supposedly he was going to come before 12, like, you know. It's just so much. And then it's just like, oh my goodness, like, he came. Oh, and he asked if I wanted some coffee cake, and I was like, oh yeah. And it's crazy because I honestly think it's just weird when he forgets things. He was always like that in relationship. I'd always be like, oh, remember when this, or like I'd be like, we watched this already, or like we did that already, or like me kind of being like, like do you not remember, or like something, and then it makes me sad, when obviously like my partner doesn't remember things that we did together, or it just makes me feel like, did you do it with someone else or something, or like you just really don't remember us doing that. Like, it was such a special moment, like to me, but to you it was just like forgetful, like wow. But like for the coffee cake, he asked if I wanted some. I was like, oh yeah, and he was like, oh, it's good, and I don't what, it's homemade. I was like, I know this, I know the person that makes it. Like, I ate it last year when I was pregnant. You offered it to me, and I was like, damn, like you forgot about that. Like, wow, like, oh my goodness. So then he came, he gave me the coffee cake, I gave him Zeus. He was just gonna leave. I just opened the door and he just left. He was going downstairs, and I was like, you're really gonna leave like that? Like, you're not even gonna say hi to your son? Even my mom was like, he's not gonna say hi to Camilo? And I was like, and then he came back up and he was like, what? And I was like, you're really gonna leave like that? You're not even gonna say hi to your own son? And he was like, oh, my cousins are down there waiting for me. And I was like, I know, Christopher, but like, I get me. At that point, I would always be like, I get me. Like, we're like, I guess done at that point, even though I still want to be with him, or like try again, still holding on to that hope. But like your own son, like when you made him, like you were there, like you were there for me. Like we went through so much together for this. Like, you get me? Like, and then he went inside, like my mom was like, oh, like just give me a Zeus, like I'll hold him while you go say hi. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, like, you're not even gonna say hi to him? I was like, just go say hi to him for like a second, I was just like, oh my God, like, we were supposed to have breakfast together that day. We were supposed to spend some time together, and he just didn't show up. And then when he showed, it was like fast, I kind of forgot what we talked about then. But he left, and he took Zeus. He gave me the coffee cake, and it just sucks, like, I don't know, it's like you all before, it would be like he would fulfill all of those scenarios in my head like perfectly, like, oh, what if this happens, and like he would do it. And now it's just gone so awry, like it's insane. From then, I believe the next time we saw him, I think even after that, he was like, we'll have breakfast like the next day. He never shows because he's tired, because he was busy. He was really exhausted from like setting up for Christmas and I don't know what. And I'd just be like, okay, like, at this point, it's like you keep on having my hopes up, and like I think that we're like, there's a chance. But not even for your son, I'm just like, that's just like the number one thing. I'm like, not even for Camilo. Like, would you like maybe get up just a little bit early, or like just be like, I don't know, something, But yet, like, I remember I was thinking, I don't know if it was that same day or day before, he was supposed to come and he just didn't, because he had woken up for like a close family member of his to like help her or like move or something, or like with something like regarding that, right? And it was at like 5 or something, and he was like, the only reason I woke up was so I could spend time with you. He never even spent time with us though, like that day. So I was just so shook, like I don't know, I feel like he has so many like he makes so many excuses for himself, but like they're not like justifiable, you get me? Like, I'm tired, and it's like, you're tired, I'm exhausted, like every day I'm there for my son, for our son. Every day I'm like trying to do the best, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this, like trying to clean, trying to be the best, like you get me? I'm trying to do the most. And it's like, you don't even have a job at this point, and it's like, like I would understand if at least that, like, okay, sure you're busy like helping with your family. I understand, I completely understand, like obviously we broke up and everything, or I broke up with you, but you never came back, it's literally on him to like be like, do something for once, he didn't come back, he left. he was busy helping, like, you know, his close family member, like, move and everything. I understand. I know them. I hold them, like, very deeply to my heart, like they're a close family member. But it's like to not see your own son, you know, like, wow, it just blows my mind that a human being can be like that, you know. Like, I'm just thinking about my own father, like, if he ever did that, like, you know, just left, like, not, like, you get me? Like, what? Like, how could you just, like, your own son, like, you made him, you were there, like, throughout the whole time, everything I went through, like, the cholestasis, like, my body changed, like, my hormones, like, I was crazy. I was the one starting the stuff, like, back then when I was pregnant, and he would hold me down. Like, I would literally ask him and beg him, like, please, like, I want this to work. I want us to be together. My hormones are just making me insane. Like, this, I was crazy, guys. Like, you know, like, I would be incredibly emotional. I would be vomiting. Like, it was insane. And the cholestasis just made everything, like, 1,000 times worse. But he would be there for me, and then I'd be like, you know, just, like, thinking about it now, it's like we went through so much together while I was pregnant, while I was giving birth, while I was breastfeeding, while I was pumping, like, so much for him to, like, leave. Like, you know, I had so many good experiences. Yes, a lot of stuff was bad, but, like, you know, just to be like, even after 2 weeks, to be like, you know what, I'm gonna change, or, like, I'm gonna be there for my family, I'm gonna be there for her, I'm gonna be there for our son, you know, just something. And he just never So then it was the day of Camilo's photo shoot with Santa Claus. I think thanks to my sisters, because I'm just so thankful for my family and for them. It just sucks. But they got him, like, a Santa Claus photo shoot thing at a mall. And that day he came. He was supposed to come. We were supposed to have breakfast again. He showed up, like, way later in the day, literally before we had to go, like, kind of like maybe half an hour before we had to leave for the photo shoot, because, like, his auntie Yaya was gonna pick us up, Camilo's auntie, and then we are gonna go meet up my other sister, his other auntie Aaliyah, like, at the photo shoot place, you know. I think the photo shoot was at 2:30. I think he came and he was like, I'm in a bad mood already. Like, I from what I could remember, like, in through the text. And I was just like, okay. He was like, leave the front door open for me. And I was like, give me a second. I think he had just shot at that point. I was like, give me a second. Like, I'm literally changing his diaper, you know, like, Jesus Christ, do you not think, like, I'm literally taking care of our son. Like, okay, like, I know he's gonna be in a bad mood already, or come with an attitude. At least he's letting me know, but it just sucks because it's like, I'm always the one that gets this side of him. Yeah, I've loved him even with this side of him, you get me? Like, oh my goodness. And Camilo was awake, and then I left the door open. I think Bonita and Marley were in here with me. I forgot, but, like, my pets weren't here with me, and then they heard Zeus and, like, him, and they got excited. They don't bark when they're excited like that, you get me? They just wag their tails, and they know that it's, like, Chris is home. It's crazy because, like, usually at that time, like, 2:30 to 3 would be the time that he would come back home from work. And Camilo knows it. Like, it's like clockwork, you know? Like, the time he wakes up is the time that he's supposed to get ready for work. When he wakes up from a nap or goes, like nap time, it's when he comes back. And it's just, you know, it's crazy. But so he came. I was like, look, like, who it is? It's Daddy. And it's just crazy to look back at things, because it's like, that was the last time that we saw him, you know? Like, that was the last time I saw him. He was wearing his, like, Snoopy sweater that he bought at Target, and he was wearing, like, some, like, joggers on top of the bluey pajamas that he got us. And I did end up taking his picture with Camilo, and I think that's the last picture that they have together of him. I didn't really want to take a picture with him. I did. I really did. But, like, he never even asked, like, let's take the last picture together or something, if he knew that was the last day, because he knew I didn't know that was going to be the last day. We spoke. We shared a very intimate moment together, and it just sucks because I feel like he gave me hope, you know, like, again, to be like, okay, like, are we getting back together again? He literally told me that he wasn't going to go to Vegas. He said that he's going to stay. He said that he had told his mom that he was going to stay. Either way, I said, but if you do go to Vegas, or if you do decide, like, I respect your decision. I remember telling him that, you know, and I told him I understand, you know, like, you're leaving us. But he gave me that hope again, like, he's staying, and I was like, he's staying. He didn't end up staying. We talked a lot. I wish we had more time, you know, like, I wish we talked more about things in depth, things, I don't know, I wish we had more time together. But, you know, sometimes life's kind of cruel like that, and, you know, sometimes life's kind of also, like, helping you out, like, you know. He finally gave me the answer, or to that night when I asked him, why have you been looking up these girls on Instagram, that night that I decided I was gonna end it things. He said because he was looking for a friend, or he was looking for an old friend. If he had just told me that night, we would have hugged, we would have had a deep conversation, you know. I feel like things would have been different, but he waited 3 weeks to let me know. And I was like, I'm right here, you know. He started kind of getting, like, a little more, like, acelerado, and kind of, like, wanting to shout and scream at me again. And I held him, like, side, like, his, like, shoulders, like, here. And I was like, please, like, no, let's not do this, you know. When he was awake, you know. And I was like, please, like, calm down, like, take a breath, you know, to calm down. He started crying, and he was like, I talk to them, or I have, like, these friends that are girls. I talk to them so I can not be like this for you. I want to be better for you. And I was like, you know, like, I hurt, because it's like I finally kind of understand, but it's like, you don't need those people in your life if you have me. Like, I'm right here. You could ask me, you could talk to me. My sisters are in, like, your life. They're the ones that, like, know me the best, you know. My mother, like, those girls don't know nothing about me. If they were truly your friends, why weren't they at the baby shower? You know, why aren't they following me? Why aren't they texting me? He was going to meet up with one of them, but he flaked because he was, like, busy, you know, helping his family member move and everything. And I was like, wow, you're going to go see this person? And he was like, no, like, it's not like what you think. Like, I don't even see her in that way. Plus, she has a boyfriend, and she also has a problem of being loyal. And I was like, don't you think it's, like, sus that, like, you know, you have a problem being loyal, and she has a problem being loyal, and you guys, like, you know, getting together to talk? I was like, no, you know, like, be real. And then that she, like, if something happens with her boyfriend, she goes to her ex. If something happens with her ex, she goes back to the boyfriend. And I'm like, you really think that's a good person to have a friend as, you know, when you're in, like, when we're like this in our relationship, you know? Like, I don't think that's good, you know. I broke off a couple of friendships because of that reason. So when he told me all this, I was just like, you know, obviously I still have this, like, okay, like, we're good, or, like, that gave me so much hope. Like, we shared a very intimate moment. Like, he didn't meet up with this person. He was supposed to meet up with this person last week, and I'm like, so you could make plans, you could do this with this person, but not for your family, you know? Like, and then you just come and do this. He didn't even hang out that much with Camilo. I had to tell him, like, go in the playpen, like, play with him, you know? Like, don't just stand there looking at him. I'm like, look at all the stuff he could do. After that, a lot of stuff happened. Basically, he was supposed to come, I believe, Christmas because this was the 24th. This was Christmas Eve, the whole Santa photo shoot and everything that happened. He left, and I remember the last thing he said was that like he's not gonna go. He's going to stay. Like, not necessarily stay here with me and like live here with me, but he's going to stay like in Los Angeles, like be here like near us, you know, and he's not gonna go. That's the last thing he told me. And then he helped me, like, you know, go downstairs, like put the stroller in my sister's car. He didn't even say hi to my sister. My sister didn't, you know, say anything to him. Well, during like when we were together talking on the bed, I remember like we hugged, like he hugged both of me and him. And it just felt like, you know, we were going to be a family again. Then after, when he was like loading up the car, I was like, you know, it's crazy because I feel like he forgot like he was going to turn 9 months, like on the 25th. And then I was like, you know, in a funny voice, like with Camilo's voice, it was like, you know, a joke. I was like, oh, like, don't forget to say like happy 9 months, bitch, you know. And he was like, happy 9 months, bitch. And then he just left, and that was literally it. Like, I thought we were going to see each other again, you know. After like telling him too about like the photo shoot, I thought he was going to like be like, hey, can I come? Because at this point I was like sick of like I've always offered every single time. I've always asked him to be a part of things, and he would always complain, like, me unknowingly, you know. So I was just like, maybe, just a maybe, he might ask, can I come, you know, or something, or be with him. And he never did. He just left. So afterwards, a lot of stuff happened through text. He was supposed to come sleep over that 25th to 26th. We're going to have like another like breakfast, like Christmas, you know, something. It was supposed to happen 24th too. It didn't happen. I asked my parents, they said, like, yeah, it's up to you, you know. And I was like, okay, like, you know, like I want him, you know, like to like come and like maybe like a last, you know, something. And then something happened within my family, and you guys know, like, my mom drinks and she gets a little crazy, you know, which I understand. And also like they feel obviously a certain way seeing their daughter affected and everything by, you know, this guy. So she said that he was not allowed. I wasn't going to text him. I was just going to leave it as is, like, be like, you know, you come, you know, like, leave it as plans were. But I did text him, like, my mom doesn't really want you coming, you know. And I was like, maybe it's better if we just see each other tomorrow at the park or something. He was like, really, are you sure? I didn't want to, like, I wanted to be like, no, I'm not, like, just come, you know, who cares about him? My mom says, like, he's your son, you have a right to come see him. Like, I know I live with my parents and everything, and obviously, like, they've seen me, you know, how I am, how distraught I am by everything. But I mean, like, just come, just break the rules, you get me, like, for something good, you know, instead of cheating and lying, you know, like, do something this time. He didn't even come just because he wasn't allowed, you know. And then he just kept on kind of using that against me, like, well, I'm not allowed there anymore and all this. And I was like, okay, like, you know, like, think what you want, you know. It's like the breakup. I broke up with you, but yet you could have done something to stop it, or like done something, you know, to like make us better again, instead of like just leaving, you get me? So I was just hurt. He didn't come. That next day I just kept on sending him messages. I was like, I was begging, you know. And I was like, one, I did like to be like, oh, let's see what he says and does. But also because I was like, this is my like last resort to beg, you know, be like, please come back, please stay, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of be like taking this tone, you get me, of like the vibe that I was going for. Like, let's see like what he does. He never came because he was tired. That's his reasoning. He woke up late, he was busy and stuff. He just needed more sleep. And I was like, okay, you know, I offered for us to be together, like, you know, at least spend some moments together. At this point, I was like, this is like my final, like, you know, thing. I tried calling him. He didn't answer, you know. I sent him this last text message, and I was like, you can come, like, you are allowed, you know, like, what? Like, my mom's just been crazy yesterday, and he knows how my mom is too. Like, he literally lived with me. He knows how he gets. He knows how I get. Like, you get me? It's not like a surprise to be like, oh, like, I'm not allowed or something, you know. And it's like, I don't know what he told his family, you know, but like, he knows I love him. He knows that my family's going to, like, you know, even though they're like about him because of everything he's done to me, they know that it's like, you know, he's Mia's partner, like, he's gonna be in our family, you know. he didn't come. He didn't show up. I went to my sister's place because I needed time also, like, away from everything. And then, you know, I just needed to clear my head. And also part of me hoped that he would come, but I was like, you know, already like, he's not gonna come. I kept on checking the time, the clock to my phone. Then once I was at her place, he sent the message. He sent this message, and I knew he was gonna come. I knew he was going to leave. It's just deep in, you know, I just hoped that something, you know, anything. I'm happy for him, and I'm proud of him for actually taking initiative for once and being like, look, this is what I want, or this is what I'm going to do, and he's going to do it. Like, you know, he left. He supposedly said that he was going to say bye to us. He never said bye. December 24th was the last time we saw him. I don't know. It just sucks, you know. Obviously, like, he has this plan or whatever to be like, you know, like, I'm going to get a job because he left basically because the main reason he said was he has no job, as if it's really hard to get a job here, you know. And I'm just so shook by that. Like, I always told him I could be a stay-at-home. I mean, you could be a stay-at-home dad. I could work. It's really easy for me to get a job. Any place that I've worked at before would willingly and happily take me back, you know. And I would, you know, I love working. Like, that's what I want to do. I mean, you know, besides all of my other hobbies and things that I do. You know, I remember I asked him that, and he was like, I don't want that. I want to work so you can spend time with him. And I was like, well, what about you? In my head, you know, like, do you not want to spend time with him? Or like, you know, you get me? Like, what? Because even when he was here, you know, like I said in the first video, it was as if he wasn't here. As a friend, as a like person who really loves this person, I wish him the best, and I just want the best for him. I want him to be happy, you know. That's everything. That's all I've ever wanted, you know, is for him to be happy, for him to have a good life, live a good life, and be, you know, good with himself. Obviously, as a partner, as a girlfriend, as like supposedly his future wife, because he said plenty of times that he would marry me or want to marry me. And I'm very sad and distraught and just really hurt by the fact that he left without even saying goodbye, one, you know, but also how he just left me completely confused, you know. Like, I don't even know if we're together, you know, or not. Obviously, we're not together. I broke up with him, but it's like he gave me all this like false hope again, you know. And it's like, this is what I wanted to avoid. It's like, if you were gone, you should have just stayed gone, you know, within those last 2 weeks. It's like, I don't know why you came back and gave me this hope again. As a mother, and because we have a kid together, a baby together, we have Camilo, it makes me really like kind of angry because he didn't even say bye. He didn't even say bye to Camilo, you know. Like, he didn't even tell him anything. All he does literally is just like, hi Papa, like, hi, I love you, Daddy loves you, and that's it. He doesn't talk to him or anything. I know he's a baby. I know he doesn't understand, but it's like, you know, just be like, the whole time, I've never talked anything bad about Christopher in front of him. I know, I'm like, whenever, like, you know, the reason why Dad's here is because he's at like, you know, Aunt so-and-so's house, you know. It's like, doesn't mean he doesn't love us. He's just not here right now, you know. One thing that was like very like, you know, like, okay, like, the reason is he's going to go because he has a job there. You know, I was like, okay, well, what about here? It's not like it's hard to get a job in Los Angeles, you get me? It's like, but I mean, you know, and then, I mean, you know, it's just like it's because he has it easy, you know, like he's always been like that, like whatever is easy for him. Like, so he's just that type of person, you know. He's not a person that really works hard for anything, or like, you know, like, oh, it's like earned, you know. It's like, if he has like something, he's like, oh, I'm gonna get this through this, you know. And it's like, okay, you're never one. Like, I'm literally the one that made his resume. He hasn't had a resume, and I made it for him. So there's that, you know. We went to go get our permits. I still have I literally have these. This is a receipt. I went to go to Stormberger, and I basically used like whatever I had left that day or that time. And I was like, let's celebrate. I ended up getting my driver's license. He didn't. it sucks because I wanted to do things together, like to improve like both of us as a just as human beings in like life and like society, you get me, like level up our characters, you get me, like it sucks and it's so sad because like I literally, so it's just the work thing, then there's Zeus, and like I completely understand that. I'm very grateful for, I've said it before, it's like, okay, at least you're like te vas a encargar de Zeus, like you're gonna be there for him. But it's also like Zeus could have been here. We could have still been a family if we just tried harder. Like both of us, obviously, but more him, because we're kind of in this whole thing because of him, his actions and everything that he's done has led to this, basically, And then, I mean, the whole making fuss about like him being here. It's like, yeah, they would have, but it's like, I mean, I feel like they've tolerated him enough to be like complain about him at this point, you get me, because they've never really complained about him before, so it's like for him to be like, I want it easy, I want to live in a place where no one's like making a fuss about me. And it's like, well, I mean, you brought it upon yourself, to be made a fuss of, you get me, like if you were a good boyfriend, if you were decent, if you were like honorable, if you were kind, if you were trustworthy, if you were loyal, if you were just honest, like it would be different. But you're not, you're none of those, and I know you can be, but you just chose not to be. And like if you really, really wanted to make things like work things out with, you wouldn't mind be the fuss. You would even accept the fuss, you would be like, well, I know I did this, hold yourself accountable. But he's never meant to do that, And then, I mean, I understand, obviously I'm a human being too. I just want the best for him. And I understand, I'm very happy that he like at least was honest this time, about what he wants. And I really hope it was him that made this final decision and that he wasn't like, none of his family members like convinced him or something, like I really hope it was him that made this final decision of like leaving us, basically going to Las Vegas. Supposedly he's going to get like a place for us and everything, and he wants to fix things and be like, together again in the future. But the thing is, we've talked about this before with, the whole thing that's going on with Donald Trump and everything. Like, I literally told him, I'm very scared. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be here. Like, there might be a chance we have to go to Mexico or Canada, somewhere. I was like, are you willing, like, to be with us as a family, like be together, like we can't separate, like this is our family. He said, yeah, we'll be like, wherever we need to go, he'll be there with us. If we go to Mexico, we don't go to Mexico, something, anything. And then he does this, and it's like, I understand we broke up and everything, and like, all this is going on, but you have to think about also like literally everything is going out like in the world, like politically and everything. Like this may be literally the last time we might see each other, and you literally decided to leave, like, one, he knows I don't want to live in Las Vegas. We've talked about that like many times before. I don't know what it is, but he, like for him, like he just wants to live there, and it's like, well, that's your life, but also you have to think about your family. I just literally told him I would have been down to move literally anywhere in the world with you. I remember he would always be like, let's just go get an RV, let's go. And I'd be like, I don't know. I was literally pregnant when he would be like that. And I'd be, I don't know. Once we had Camilo, I was like, you know what? I'm down. Just, have it ready for us, basically, like, and let's go. I literally would have, I've gone through hell with him, I've gone like anywhere. I would have gone anywhere with him as long as we were together. But for him to be like, I'm going to get a place there and I want to fix things well, basically he wants to do everything with his conditions. And it's like, at this point, no, it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to do that for me. Like under, like, I want to do everything. What are your conditions? What do I have to do? Like, and it's like, no, like at this point, it's like, I've tried so hard. I've done the most I can, like, to help this person change and to be better, to become the person I know that he is and he can be. But to be like, I'm going to leave and I'm going to do this. And it's like, okay, good for you. You do that, like, I'm proud of you for doing this, but you're leaving us. You're leaving me, like, with basically the root of the work, the brunt work, like I'm the one getting up and everything, like doing, like, changing his diapers, like, like doing everything, bathing him by myself, doing literally everything by myself, and it's like, not once did he ever thank me for like taking care of our son during those 2 weeks, for and literally anytime. Like, you know, it was just like whatever to him. Not once was he like, you know what, like, please take care of our son. You know, like, I'm leaving you, like, I'm leaving him with you, you know, like anything, nothing, you know, like not even a thank you. And it's obviously, I don't need a thank you, but it would be very nice coming from his own dad. You get me? Like, coming from the person that's leaving us, leaving all this behind. It literally just kind of feels like it's like a vacation for him. He has nothing to worry about, just working a job. Like, girl, that's not, I've worked a job. And like, I remember during the time I worked a job, you were cheating on me. You know, it's like, I saved up money and I get an Airbnb, go to Anime Expo, and you were cheating on me. You know, like, it just sucks because I'm, you know, and then it's like on me. Like, he's the one that's like, oh, so it's like basically up to you if you want to like fix things or get back together again in the future, you know, like, I'm gonna do this. And it's like, it's too late. You left. I literally, like, you left. You got in that car and you left. That's your action that you did, you know. You lied to me again. The last time you saw each other, you said you would stay, and he didn't stay. You were supposed to have breakfast all those mornings because he was tired. And I told him, I understand and I respect you. You're tired. I just, you know, I just hope you understand, and like, I hope you like appreciate the fact that I was never as demanding as your family, you know. I just feel really sad because I feel like this is the end of like us. I wanted to fix things, and I know he's going to go, and it's, you know, there's nothing I could do to stop it, or, you know, him. I gave him the option if we could fix things, but you know, I respect him. He's actually taking initiative, but it hurts, you know. I thought we would be together for Christmas and for New Year's. I thought we would, you know, get back together. And it just sucks because we're not, and he's leaving. I didn't sign up for this, you know. I wanted a family. I didn't want to be a single mom. I wanted a family. I wanted him to be with us. So it's like, I really hope he does, you know, he gets a place, he works hard, he does everything for himself, you know. I don't, like, he knows that I don't want to move over there. He knows I don't want to live there. I have my whole support system here. When we went to Vegas, that's like, I saw it, you know, I saw how he acted, how his family was. Like, they're not there for Camilo in that way, you know, like the way that my family is. And he knows that, you know, like, my parents are helping me raise him. His aunts are helping me raise him, you know, like his uncle, like, they're helping me raise him. And like, he's not even here, and not once did he thank my family. Like, he literally has, like, he took them off of Instagram. He doesn't even, probably deleted their numbers or something, you know, like, but yet I keep contact with his family because we are family. But I guess my family, he doesn't see them as family, and it sucks. We literally live with each other. We went through so much together, and it's very unfortunate how everything happened and how he basically left us, you know. That's a fact. He left us, you know. So another fact is he's still texting all those girls. I saw it on his phone. I literally asked him, like, show me your phone, give me your phone. I saw those. There's multiple girls still on his phone, you know. And I was just like, wow. This was after we had sex, and I was just like, I can't believe it. And then after that, we had the intimate moment where he cried and he told me everything, and I was just like, I'm right here. I was there all those nights. You don't need to talk to anyone else besides me. Like, if you really want to be better for me, I'm literally right here. You could ask the person. And you don't. You never did, you know. You would always complain, and I'm only doing this to vent out. No one knew about anything that was happening in the relationship until I said something, until I spoke out, you know, because I was just tired of it. You know, like, I needed, it literally ended with me and Camilo. It literally ended with us, you know, like, I was sick of being treated like that from a guy, you know, like, acting like a little boy. You get me? So for his sake, I hope that he does I hope that he accomplishes his goals. I hope he doesn't get lost on the way. But I mean, this is it, you know, like, I'm just gonna move on. And I remember going out there when our family was there in the 22nd, 23rd, 21st. I was like, oh, so I'm the one, because I'm the one that's always speaking. I'm the one that always takes the lead, you know. I'm like, so we decided, like, and I didn't even want to say it because all I wanted to do was, like, I want to get back with him. But we decided, you know, we're going to be co-parenting. He's going to live in Las Vegas. He's going to visit once a month. We're going to try to be FaceTiming each other. But, I mean, it's always been me calling him. It's always been me texting him. He never asks how Camilo is. Maybe like once, but it's not even like to be like, oh, how's my son? Like, did he get his diaper changed? Like, how is he on diet? Like, anything. And then he's still like very petty, you know, because he lost his job. And it's like, you know, like, I'm done with that petty. I'm done with like him acting like this, you know. I really hope he works on himself, as I am going to work on myself as well. But it's not going to be for us to reunite. He knows I don't want to go to Vegas and live there. That's like, I feel like he did it. He said that in spite of me, or he's doing this in spite of me, because it's like, he knows I don't want that. I don't want that for Camilo. And I feel like Camilo is not even going to want that in the future, however long he takes, you know. I'm not going to wait for him. And like, obviously, I'm still going to have that small sliver of hope that he will do this for us, and that he's not going to be cheating on me this whole time, even though it's not cheating because we're like done. But that he's not going to be like with anyone else. Like, he's not going to like, you know, have sex. Like, he's not going to be texting all these girls. That he's actually going to be like committed and be like, oh, I have the mindset that I'm going to be reunited with my future wife and like my child, you know, with Mia, like with Camilo. But at this point, it's like, he left. Like, why hold on to that hope? You know, I want to so bad, but it's like, I tried 2 years, you know, like, it just sucks to be like, you know, you're done, or like to have this like I'm done, you know. But I kind of have to. He left, he moved on. He hasn't really called at all, you know. I'm the one that's like, Camilo, say goodnight. He literally said that he was going to say goodbye to us, at least. He never did. He said that he was going to call Camilo every morning, every night. He hasn't. I'm the one still calling. It sucks because I don't even want to see him or anything. Obviously, like, you know, oh yeah, I was talking about the co-parenting thing. You know, we went out there and I said, we're going to co-parent, you know, all this. It's not even co-parenting. I'm literally solo parenting at this point. You get me? Like, 3 weeks have gone by. He hasn't even changed his diaper. He hasn't even given him his milk. When he came, his mom gave him his milk. And, he didn't even, like, no, he doesn't ask about how he is, anything, like, the things that matter. Like, how is he doing? How's he progressing in his, like, baby milestones? You get me? Like, anything. It's like, I literally just feel like he doesn't care, even though as much as I want to, like, have that hope of, like, no, he does care, you know, or something. Like, this is the last conversation we had.
Wow. Look at auntie, this is your uncle. Look at this. Say hi, daddy. Yeah. Wow, look at Uncle Bobby. Wow.
It's great grandma.
Wow, look, Papa, mira. Y hola.
Yeah. We're in Vegas now.
Hi, Camilo. Wow, say hi. Hi, Uncle Bobby. Hola. Oh.
You're gonna go sleep soon, Papa? You wanna see?
Let him see Zeus. Zeus, look at.
Should I go on with him?
Yeah. Look.
Is he gonna go sleep soon right now?
Huh?
Is he gonna go sleep right now?
Well, he's been awake for like 4 hours. He doesn't really want to drink his milk. That's why I would like. You know how you texted you were?
He usually falls asleep after.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he doesn't really want to drink it. Like, he's tired, but he needs to drink his milk and he's not drinking it. Huh, Papa?
Come on, Papa. Drink your bottle.
See, look. Okay. You're okay, Daddy, I'll drink
You
it.
can get a good rest.
Okay.
And then you can go beat up the dogs later.
What dogs?
Whatever dogs.
No. A ver, Papa. You good?
There we go. Ooh, fancy. Forgetting something. Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah? Go, Papa, go, Papa.
$20.
Go, chicky. Oh, my baby boy. Oh, Papa. It's okay. Mira, mira, mira. It's okay, Papa. It's okay.
You don't have any bongs, huh?
Alright. Say night night. Good night. Say good night, Daddy.
What?
Good night.
Good night, Papa. I love you.
I called him. All of his, like, you know, like, aunts and uncles are very happy to see him. You know, he told me that his grandpa broke his bong. Obviously an accident. I don't know how he reacted or anything, but he told me. When I called, they were, like, going to liquor store, I think, or a type of store, but he asked if they sold bongs. Last time I asked him for the formula or, like, money if he had anything. I don't even beg him or I don't even, like, demand, you know. I'm just literally asking. He said, ask your sister or anyone else. I don't have a job. No, like, very petty. And I was just like, okay, I'll figure something out, you know, like, no worries. He's our son. Like, wow, you know. But yet he asked if they sold bongs there. Like, he has the money to buy a bong, but not formula for his own child, you know. And it's like, okay, I'm done at this point, you know. Like, there's just, like, only so much. Like, this is like a vacation for him. This is like, he wanted this, he needed this. The fact, though, is that he was never honest with himself nor me, because I've asked him many times, like, maybe you should go with your family. Like, that's, like, your mom needs you. Like, she has so many kids, like, and, you know, you're literally a babysitter, you know, like, because I've seen it, like, you know, this whole time that I've known you. And, like, you know, you're not here for us, and it's fine, you know, like, just go, you know. But he would always be like, no, I'll stay, I don't know what. And I'd be like, okay, you know. But so this is like it, you know. My family told me, like, you know, we support you, Mia, like, we're gonna be here for you, we're gonna be here for Camilo. I was like, I know, I appreciate it. And, like, it just sucks because it's like, if anything, it was gonna be on me to be like, okay, like, I'm ready, come here, Mia, come here, Camilo. But it's like, no, at that point I don't even know where I'm going to be in my life. I don't know where Camilo, he's not gonna want to go. He has his whole family here, you know. Like, so this is it. This is the end. Like, there's literally not much anything I could do or say that'll change his mind or anything. Like, he's decided, and I'm proud of him for actually deciding something in his life, you know. But I'm not going to get back with him. I'm not going to move there. He knows this. And I feel like, you know, like, why there, you know? And it's like, I know he has his family, but it's not going to be the same support, like, for Camilo, at least. Like, you know, it's like, I'm done. I'm done at this point. Like, I really, like, I just want to move on with my life, you know? I literally had this hat. This was the last thing of his that I had up. I had it up there. I don't know if you can still see the tornillo. I was holding on to this little sliver of, like, maybe he'll move back in. And I told him I packed everything so it's in storage unit, so it's easy, so you could come back. Nothing. So I think I'm done. And I've been carrying this in my wallet since, like, the day we met. And I think it's just time that I, like, take it out, you know? He knows what this is from and everything. it sucks. It all sucks, but I think it's time that I, you know, just keep on going forward and don't look back, basically, for my son, for myself, for my family, for my pets. I'm going to miss Zeus, and I really, like, you know, I want to keep in contact with Chris just for basically Zeus, for Camilo, but he's decided he's gone, you know. I tried to stop him. I tried my best to stop him, but I know he told his close family member that, like, he's doing this for us, and it makes it seem as if we're still together, which gives me that also false hope, or like that false illusion, you know. But it's like, no, he left. Like, you know, he left. Like, he's gone, you know. Like, what makes you think that he's not going to be doing all of these other things, like, you know, like being with someone else, meeting someone else or whatever? And it's like, no, you know, like, don't do this to yourself, Mia, you know. It's like, you're better than this. Like, you know, like, you broke up, you did everything for a reason, and you know it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, that's me talking to myself, you know. I just wish that he would have done something, like something that I would have done, you get me? Like, I wish he would have done anything. So yeah, I mean, this is it. I'm gonna try my best to move on, even though I mean, you know, it's hard to be in contact with him for Camilo, but obviously it's for Camilo, but also, oh my goodness, whenever Camilo, like the last time he saw him, that footage, he didn't even smile, you know. Like, it took him a while to maybe smile, but he was literally just smiling at my sister because my sister was here recording and everything, you know. I'm so surprised at how a human being can be this way, you know. I wish him the best. I want the best for him. You know, I never wish him like I've never had a malintent towards him. I want the best for him. No matter how much he's hurt me, I wish him the best, you know, because I love him, you know. And it's like, if he's free or if he's in a better place, then that's so good for him, you know. This whole time that, you know, the 2 weeks, I was getting better because I had no stress, basically, of like worrying of him being with someone else, him doing all this, blah blah, you know, and like him not even being here for us, him smoking, you know. And then he came back and he gave me all this false hope again, and now he leaves and he's kind of doing this to do, like, I'm gonna do this for us. But I told him, I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna move on with my life, you know. Like, obviously I have this hope that he's not gonna do anything or whatever, but like, it's all on him, you know. But I'm done. You know, like, this has gone so far, and I feel like everyone's gonna be looking at me like, oh my god, but he's doing this, Mia, like, for you. And it's like, yeah, but the reality is I've done much more than that for him, and he never appreciated it at all, you know. He even said it himself, like, that day that I broke up with him, he was like, I never know, like, what I have until it's gone. And I'm like, yeah, I wish you would have realized that sooner, but you didn't. It feels good to let all this out, you know, but it also sucks and it hurts. And, you know, I just feel so, I don't even know. I just remember, like, when he texted, like, that they're there in Vegas, I was like, wow, or like halfway or whatever. And I was just like, wow, like, he left without even saying goodbye to his son. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but I tried my hardest and I tried my best to save my family. But there's only so much one person can do in a relationship, you know. It's a relationship between two people. Or the relationship we had, I thought it was between two people. I'll always love him, and he knows that. And there was also, if he does visit, like, there were rules before, like, or like, I have literally a huge paragraph in my notes of a lot of stuff I wanted to ask him about in person, and then rules for visiting Camilo, and I don't know what. I don't even know if it's gonna happen or not, you know. I don't even know if he's gonna come visit. Supposedly, then he was like, I'll visit more than once. It's not enough. You know, you're not raising your son. I am. You know, you're just gonna be another, like, strange face to him, or if anything, maybe a friend, but not a father figure, not a father, you know. And that just sucks. But it's what he wanted, it's what he decided, you know. I just, you know, I'm not expecting it, or I don't, you know, but I hope one day that he thanks me for everything that I've done, you know. Because I'm the one that pushed him to, like, this, basically. You could say I'm the one that pushed him away, but it was just my way of like wanting him to come back, you know, or like push him into coming back with me. But he's not that type of person, and it sucks because this whole time I was the one pulling him back, you know. So, you know, I even told him, like, if you love someone, you let them go, and that's what I did. I had to let you go, and you just kept on leaving, and now you're all the way in another state in Vegas. So I know where things are, you know, like, I know where we are basically. And yeah, I feel like I can now like breathe easier, you know. Not that the fact that he's gone, but the fact that I'm like letting this out and letting this go. You know, I love you guys and I appreciate you so much. You guys are like, you know, like, you guys know who you are individually, like, you know, through like the messages that you guys have sent me, through the comments. Like, I appreciate so much. Like, it gives me a lot of like hope, you know, for myself and like for my life and for my son to be like, okay, like, I think I'm doing the right thing or the good thing, you know. So yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys. Yeah. All right, so till next time, bye guys. Thanks for watching.